Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing ranked cells. If you haven't guessed already, we're talking about equality cages as well. It is equality cages 121. Now, you might be a little bit surprised that we're actually playing this on a Friday, but we've basically, I'm not going to say we've run out of 2 and 3 star difficulty rated puzzles in this series, just that we're onto a 1-star difficulty rated puzzle. So it is time to start playing them during weekdays and I guess make room for a few other difficult puzzles and difficult series for the weekend. So ranked cells, you can see here Sleuth has stolen rank number 1 in cages, of course. Next to him are ranks 2 and 3, and there's a huge distance between 1 and 2. Not sure what Sleuth is trying to say there, but, you know, that's the setup that we've got right now. Speaking of which, let's take a look at today's rule set. So, we have Equality Cages 121, Rank Cells by gUBBLOR. And gUBBLOR does actually give credit to the Rank Cells rule set to Willpower. We did actually feature something during the 12 Days of Christmas series where Will used that as part of the 5 golden rings. So it's quite an interesting variant, and I'm going to, we're interested to see how it's going to actually play today with what we have with equality cages. So first off, rule sets, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Pretty standard. Then we have the equality cages. So cages must have an equal number of low. I'm going to pick, I guess that's the most visible cage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And an equal number of high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it also has to have an equal number of even, such as 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's say this is 2 and 4. In which case this must be an odd digit to have an equal number of evens and odds. So this would have to be from 7, 9. Notice that in my fictitious example, I'd never contain the number 5 in any of the possibilities because they're not allowed as part of equality cages. Lastly, digits may not repeat, although that's somewhat of a superfluous thing. No, not necessarily. Here is this cell that could potentially be the same as one of these, except it's explicitly stated digits may not repeat in a cage. We have our good old friend Kropki dots. A black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2 to 1 ratio. If that's a 2, for example, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that one cell is double the other. We also have another possibility up here, which is a white dot. If this was 2, this would have to be 1 or 3, so that it is consecutive with the 2. Essentially, they are 1 apart in these cells. Not all dots are shown, so that 2 and 4, for example, nothing wrong with this being a 4 with a 2 next to it, or in fact an 8. That doesn't require a black dot. Let's say that this is a 9, nothing wrong with this being an 8, and that doesn't require a white dot. Now, here is what it gets interesting. This is the second feature of, cell rankings. And what I'm going to do actually is leave a link up here. If you haven't played this particular puzzle, it's a fantastic puzzle, but it also exploits the same rule set. So a cell's rank is equal to the number of times a line goes from the center of the cell to the cell border. For example, row 2, column 6, which is this cell, has a rank of 2. You can see because it's essentially got 2 lines coming out of the center, one to the left, one to the top. That's 2 different line segments. Now, row 5, column 5, which is this cell here, doesn't actually tell us what has a rank of 5. Yes, it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate segments. Now, cells with a higher rank must contain a higher digit than those of a lower rank. Rankings only exist within each box. So there would be nothing wrong with a rank 1 cell in box 4, let's say this one, being higher than a rank 3 cell in box 3, such as this one. So the ranks are only really relevant to within the same box, is what that's saying. Cells without a rank can be any number and may be between cells of the same rank, i.e. there is nothing wrong with having a 2 rank 2 cells be 4 and 6 and a non-ranked cell in the same box be a 5. Hopefully, gUBBLOR did really explain, I think, the rule set fairly well. So, this was a rank 5, so let's imagine that's a 6. All that's saying is all the other ranks, all the other cells with ranks that are lower than 5, so that's got 1, that's 2, that's 2, that's 1, that's 1, all of them have to be lower than the digit 6. It also is saying that these cells could be anything. It doesn't matter that they could be in between the cells of rank 1, 2, and 3, or 5. None of that matters. Lastly, the fact that I have a 6 in here on a rank 5 doesn't mean that this cell here that is a rank 3 has to be less than 6. It can absolutely be higher than 6 because they're in separate boxes. So, only thing left to say is, if you want to play along, if you want to rank those cells and uncover what is the mystery behind this particular puzzle, link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. This is a reasonably good place to start. Actually, no, I'm going to go for box 1. So let's think about the ranks here in box 1. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is rank 5. I'm actually going to just write down the ranks for a second. 5, 1, 3, 3, 1, 2, 2, and 3. So in a way, it's giving us a little bit of a running order, because the only cell that is outside of it that isn't ranked in box 1 is actually this cell here at the top. So in a way, we're kind of saying that this has to be the largest cell. It's 8 or 9. And because it's in a black Kropki dot, it has to be 8. So that's the 8. That's a 4 for it to be on a black Kropki dot. That is a smaller cell than the 8 because it's rank 3 versus rank 5. And it's consecutive with the 8. That's a 7. We know that the two cells that are rank 3 have to be between rank 2 here with a 4 and, well, really the 8 in this particular case. But 7 is already placed, so these two are 4s with 5 and 6. Can't have a 5 inside an equality cage, that's a 6. This is a 5. I'm fairly sure that's the 9 because we placed, everything else is ranked. This has to be the 9. Now, this needs to be odd. These two, in fact, need to be odd. This is 1 and 3. Fairly sure that has to be the 3 because it's the higher rank than this cell. So that's 3, that's 1, that's 2. That's box 1 done. Do I want to keep going here? Tempting. I know that this is 6, 3. So yeah, I am going to keep going with ranks and just following on from here, because the other place I was tempted to sort of break into was box 5. Box 9 is also tempting, as is box 3. So there are plenty of places, I think, for us to take a stab at sort of breaking in. Now, the reason I say this is 6, 3 is now with 4, 8 placed, the only remaining options that I have are 1 and 2 in this very specific order, or 3 and 6 in this very specific order. What I know is this cell, because it's rank 3, actually 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is rank 2, the higher of the black Kropki dot pairs has to be this cell. Now, the reason I say 2, 1 doesn't work is this is rank 4, and this is rank 2. That's fine. Now, how am I going to actually put anything else around these, which is rank 2, 3, 3, and 2, that are smaller than 2? And the answer is it's impossible. Therefore, that's 6, that's 3. These two cells are rank 3 and have to be bigger than 3, which is rank 2, and smaller than 6, which is rank 4. So this is 4 or 5. These have to be smaller than 4 and 5, because they are rank 2. So they are 1, 2, because we've already placed the 3. You can see 9 now is just, we can place it. It can only be in here. This is 7, 8, just to complete the box. This 6, 3, that 2 is actually resolved. That's a 1, that's a 2. That 4, 5 is also resolved. That's a 4, that's a 5. We can actually just continue here now in box 4. We know all of these digits. This is 2, 3, and 4. These are, so I mean, it's a low digit, 2 low digits in this equality cage. We need 2 high digits, so we'll just keep that in mind as we complete this. This is 189, can't be a 1, aside from the fact that it's repeating the 1. These have to be high digits. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 6, 7, or 8. Right. 9 on a rank 1 cell is nonsense, because this one is supposedly higher. 2, 3, 4, the only digit that could be higher than whatever is available as an option in there, that would be a 1. That's not a 1, that's 8, 9 pair. Why did I put 8? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, that's the mistake I made. This is not 189. It's 1, 9 and something else. 5. 1, 5, 9. We can do a bit better now. The 5 is the only place, can't be inside an equality cage, so that's the only place for it. That has to be the 1 to be smaller than 2, 3, 4. That has to be a 9. Now I need 2 even digits because 9 and 1 are both odds, so that's got to be a 6. Hang on. I did miss the 8. So that's not a 7, is what I meant to say. That is not a 3, because both of these have to be even. This has to be even as well, so that's not the 7. That is the 7. This cell is smaller than that cell. So that's not a 2, and that's not a 4. But I don't think it allows me to place the rest of this. Okay. I guess we do need the additional break-ins. Let me just have a look at this, stare at it for a bit. So box 9 is very tempting now that we've got a few different cells looking into it. Now, what I'm also thinking is none of these are 5s, none of these are 5s, none of these are 5s. 5s in one of 3 cells. But we've actually placed a rank on a ton of cells. The largest of which is here with 4. These are all 3s. These are 1s, and this is a 2. Now, similar setup to here, with only one cell not ranked, this is somewhat forced. The largest one has 1 degree of freedom, it's 8 or 9. Which presumably makes this 7, 8, or 9. Which I think is sort of helpful, because there's a white Kropki dot. What it's saying is that the lowest ranks have to be 1, 2, 3. Then, because we have a rank 2, it has to slot in between the 1, 2, 3s and this slot. So I'm fairly sure this is forced with a 4. That can't be a 5 anymore because it's too big given this is, a smaller rank. That's the 5. These two are now, they can be 6 and 7 or 8 as well. What they cannot be is a 9. They have to be smaller than whatever this cell is. Now, they're not 8s though, because one secret about white Kropki dots is it has to be made up of an odd digit and an even digit. The only even digit that's available in here is the 8. So these are not 8s, they are 6 and 7. That means I've got an odd and an even. I've actually got 2 evens with 4 and 6. 1 odd, I need another odd in here. That's not a 2. That's not a 1. Can I do better? Yeah, these are not 2s. That is the 2. That's 1, 3. That's not a 5. 6, 7 means that's not a 7 either. This is an 8, 9 pair. Can I complete this? Doesn't look like it. No. I mean, I can pencil mark, the heck out of this, but I'm tempted to sort of have a look elsewhere. So box 5, box 3, again, tempted to look at these next. Again, I'm just gonna, for my benefit, write down what the ranks are. So this is pretty much 3, 3, 2, and these 2 are 1s. Now, there's quite a lot of cells that are not ranked. And one of these 2 is a 5. because these are equality cages, no 5s, and this cell is not a 5. Classic Sudoku. Doesn't feel like enough to really do much with this. This cell, maybe. Let me list box. So this was rank 5. These are 2s, and this is 1. Then we have 3 unranked cells. Yeah. How small can this be? Because it needs to have 5 digits that are smaller than it. So even if I go for the absolute minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this can actually be a 6, but not 7. So this is 6, 8, or 9. This has to be a low cell, and it's not 1, 2, or 3 because the ranks of these have to be smaller than whatever is in here. So that's a 4. These are, in fact, forced now because they need to be smaller than 4. So this is 2, 3. That 4 gives me a 3, which gives me in turn a 2, a 4. That's not 3. That's 1 or 2. This is an even digit, must be paired up with an odd digit. It's a 9. This is has to be essentially between 9 and 4. So it's essentially anything. There's really no, but this is a 5, 7 pair because the 5, 7 are not here. These are 6, 8, however. Now this should allow me to at least pencil mark the rest of this row. This is 1, 3, 4. This is rank 2. These two are rank 1. I don't have a 9 anywhere in row 4. That has to be the 9 because it's the largest of the remaining digits. This, unfortunately, this 9 could be surrounded with basically anything. Anything will be indeed lower. That 9, however, gives me 8 and 9. Nothing else is resolved here as far as I could tell. Yeah, that 1 gives me a 2. I was thinking 6, 8, 5, 7. So I've got essentially another cell that is 6, 8, another cell that is 5, 7, and I don't know which is which. Then I have again another 6, 8, and a 5, 7, and then one of 1, 2, 3s. However, it's not 1, 3, 4, so there's a 2 in one of these cells. These are not 2s. Well, that 2 would have allowed me to get it far more easily than what I've just done. That's not a 4. That's a 1, 3 pair. That's quite powerful actually on these cells. So I may be needing to dip up here. This needs to be in this equality cage a high odd digit. It is 7 or 9. Is it worthwhile thinking about these? Maybe. Not sure. Right, let's think about ranks here. So these two are the highest digits, which is interesting because it's still an equality cage. One of them has to be a low digit from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you think about this, if it's not a 4, how am I going to find 3 digits that are smaller than it? So this is 1, 2, 3. One of these is a 4 with a 7 or 9 because it needs to be a high odd digit. That is not a 9. That is 1, 2, 3. That's done. This is a low digit. This has to be a high digit. And it's not 9, but it could be 6, 7, or 8. Surely I can do better. That 4, that's not the 4. That's the 4. Can I do better? Yep, that's not 4 in here. That's the 4. I had a 1, 3 pair. Yep, that's the 2. These are not 2s. That's a 1 looking at a 1, 3. That's a 3. That's a 1. That 3 requires an even high digit, so it's 6 or 8. Then we essentially have, yeah, this needs another high even digit. That's 6, 8. So these are from 5, 7, 9. So you can see this is not 7 or 9. That is the 5. That's another 7, 9. That's a 9 that tells me what it is. It's 7. That's 9. Do I resolve the 6, 7? No. Do I resolve the 1, 3? Yes. 3, 1. 3, 1. I could keep going. That's not 2. That's the 2. I have 5, 7, 6, 8. Not resolved. And again, I have 5, 7, 6, 8. Surely, yes, that is resolved. 6, 7, 6. That's 8. I need an 8 in here. So I'm going to just write all of these down now. So this is, I needed 5, 7, 6, 8. 8, not 9. No 7 or 8 in here, meaning no 5 or 6 in there. That's a 7, 8 pair. Interesting. Am I going to have to resolve some of these to be able to resolve this? That is very odd. But it looks like it. I'm not seeing anything else in the column that would help me. That 7 gives me 8, 7. Right. Maybe this box will sort of help me solve these two. So let's just think about what this is made up of. So I need in here 1, 7, and 2. This cell is bigger than whatever this is. So that's not the 7. That's not a 1. This is low. This has to be high. And it's not 7, 8, or 9. It is a 6. Therefore, this has to be an odd digit. It is a 1. That can't be a 2. I've got 2 rank 1 cells. If that's a 2, how am I going to find something that's smaller? That's the 7. That's the 2. Doesn't actually help me with my 5 7s, which is what I was looking for, nor does it help me with my 1 3s. This needs to be a smaller cell than 7 and bigger than 1. There are plenty of choices. It's not 1, 2, it is 3. It's not 4, 5, 6. In fact, it is just 3. These are 8 9s. The 3 doesn't help. And these cells are 4, 5, I'm going to venture, just to complete the box. Right, still not helping resolve some of these things. Let's keep going. In this row, I need 3, 7, 9. Only place for a 3 is in here. I don't need 3, 7, 9. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 6, 7, 9, pardon me. The 6 still is written here. That has to be a 7 because of the 9 in the middle. That gives me a 9 in here. That 7 gives me 5 and 7 and will hopefully resolve all of the rest of this. Yeah, that 9 gives me 8 and 9. I don't think the 4, 5 are resolved. The 6 is, that's 8, that's 6. The 1, 3 and the 4, 5, they're persisting for a while longer. Right, last box. We need a 1, a 2, and a 5. I'm just going to write them all in for now. 1, 2, 5. This has to be the smaller digit compared to this one. That's not a 5. That's not a 1. That's a 1, giving me a 2, giving me a 5, giving me a 1, 3, 1. That 5 gives me 4, 5. I now need 3, 4, and 8 in here. I can just use Sudoku to complete 3, 4, and if I've not made any mistakes, other mistakes I should say, 8 for the completion. So it's an unusual rule set that I think gUBBLOR once again expertly weaved together with the equality cages. So hope that you guys enjoyed it, and certainly check out the 5 golden rings from Willpower. It's another one if you particularly enjoyed this variant. What would I recommend? There's plenty of equality cages. I mean, the fact that we're at 1, 2, 1 tells me that there is at least probably another 20, although I don't necessarily always do them in the right order. So there may be more than 20 cages. So check out that playlist next. Bye-bye for now.